Alex tightened the straps of his utility belt and glanced around the massive docking bay. The alien research station stretched above and around him, a giant web of metallic corridors and glowing panels. He had been sent here as a human engineer, one of the few from Earth allowed to work on a station deep inside the Orcs Nebula. His mission was clear: assist with maintenance, repair systems, and learn the advanced technology these aliens had created. But standing here, surrounded by beings unlike anything he had ever seen, he felt small, almost insignificant. The aliens moved with grace and precision. Their skin shimmered in shades he had no names for. Their limbs were long, elegant, and strong-looking. And their eyes held a depth that made him feel as though they could see straight into his thoughts. Most of them ignored him, their conversations a mixture of strange sounds and flashing symbols projected in the air. Alex had tried to understand some of their language, but it was difficult. Their culture, their technology, even their physical forms, were all so foreign. He reminded himself that he was here for a job, not for comfort. And yet, he couldn't stop glancing at the beings walking past him. There was one in particular who made him pause more than the others. Lyra. He had noticed her the first day he arrived. She moved with a quiet confidence, her figure perfectly balanced between elegance and power. Her movements were smooth, almost liquid, yet each motion seemed to radiate strength. Alex had admired her from a distance, careful not to stare too obviously. Today, however, as he carried a set of diagnostic tools into the central lab, she stood near a glowing console, adjusting settings with precise gestures. Her long limbs seemed even longer under the soft blue light of the lab, and her eyes, large, iridescent, and intelligent, caught his glance. Alex took a deep breath. Just be normal, he told himself. Say what needs to be said. Don't make it weird. As he approached her workstation, he accidentally dropped one of the tools. It clanged against the floor, echoing in the otherwise quiet lab. Lyra's head turned sharply toward the sound, her eyes narrowing slightly. He scrambled to pick it up, mumbling apologies in his thick human accent. "I'm sorry," he said, handing the tool back. "I didn't mean to disturb you." Lyra tilted her head, studying him. Her gaze was direct but not hostile, and Alex felt a strange warmth of acknowledgement. For a moment, the world around them seemed to pause. "You are human," she said finally, her voice soft but clear. "Yet you move with unusual awareness for your kind." Alex blinked. Thank you?" He wasn't sure if that was a compliment or a polite remark. Lyra's lips curved into the faintest hint of a smile. "You are honest." Alex felt a sudden rush of nerves. Honesty. That was not something he had expected to be noticed here, on a station where every interaction seemed layered with complexity and hidden meaning. He cleared his throat. I meant what I said earlier. You move very well. It's impressive." Lyra's eyes widened slightly, then narrowed in thought. "Your comment. It is simple, yet precise. You notice balance and strength. Most beings here focus on appearances or function. But you—" She paused, as if choosing her words carefully. "You observe honestly." Alex swallowed. "I just said what I saw. Nothing more." For a moment, there was silence. Then Lyra inclined her head slightly, a gesture Alex interpreted as respect. "Your kind is rare," she said softly. "Rare in honesty." He couldn't help but chuckle nervously. "I guess humans are straightforward sometimes." Lyra's smile widened just a little. "Sometimes." The rest of the lab workers had returned to their tasks, murmuring and moving about. But Alex couldn't stop staring at Lyra. There was something magnetic about her, not just her figure, which was indeed remarkable, but the intelligence in her eyes, the quiet confidence, the sense that she had seen much and understood even more. "Will you assist with the plasma conduits today?" she asked, breaking his thoughts. Alex nodded quickly. Of course. Lead the way. As they walked toward the far side of the lab, Alex noticed how easily she navigated the narrow pathways. Her steps were light, precise, and perfectly balanced. She didn't glance at the glowing panels or the floating instruments. She moved as though the environment itself obeyed her. Alex tried to keep up, feeling clumsy in comparison. So, he said after a moment, trying to sound casual. You train often, I assume? Lyra turned her head slightly, considering. Training is not for display. It is for survival and understanding of the body's limits. You, humans, you often underestimate the importance of this. Alex nodded. Yeah, we usually just try to get by. But you make it look effortless. She paused, turning to look at him fully. Her gaze was intense, and Alex felt the weight of it. It is not effortless. It is discipline and awareness. You notice that. You are observant. He chuckled again, a little awkwardly. I guess I noticed. Lyra's expression shifted subtly, from curiosity to something he couldn't quite name. Then, unexpectedly, she leaned slightly closer. Your comment. It is rare here. Most beings would have hidden their thoughts, or said something flattering without truth. You are honest. Radig. Alex blinked. He hadn't expected such a reaction. I didn't mean anything by it. I just said what I saw. Her lips curved again, this time in a smile that seemed almost mischievous. And that is why your words are unusual, unforgettable. The words hung in the air, and Alex felt a strange mix of pride and confusion. Unforgettable? For simply saying she moved with strength and grace? As they reached the plasma conduit section, she gestured for him to start examining the systems. Alex moved to his work, but he could feel her gaze on him, thoughtful and penetrating. He tried to focus on the task, checking energy levels and realigning circuits. But his mind kept drifting back to her words. Her figure. The way she moved. Minutes passed. Then Lyra spoke again, her voice softer this time. You understand something many do not. You see beyond appearance. Alex paused, wiping sweat from his forehead. I try. I think anyone would notice, if they paid attention. No, she said gently but firmly. Most do not. They look only at the surface. You look deeper. Her words left him silent. He didn't fully understand what she meant, but he felt a strange sense of respect growing between them. It wasn't just that she was strong or graceful. It was that she recognized something in him. A quality that seemed insignificant to humans, but was valued here. The rest of the morning passed in a blur of work. Alex fixed conduits, adjusted energy regulators, and carefully navigated the alien technology under Lyra's watchful eye. Occasionally, she offered a word of instruction, precise and concise, never condescending. Alex realized that despite her figure and strength, her mind was as sharp as any human scientist could imagine. Finally, they completed the repairs. Lyra turned to him and nodded. You have done well. Not only in work, but in observation. It is unusual to meet someone who sees honestly. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he hadn't expected. Thanks. That means a lot. Lyra tilted her head slightly, as if contemplating. Then she said, almost to herself, perhaps humans have qualities we have overlooked. Perhaps there is more to learn from your kind than we thought. Alex blinked. He didn't know whether to take it as praise or a challenge, but he felt encouraged. She wasn't just acknowledging him, she was opening a door, showing him that his honesty had value, even in a place so different from Earth. As he gathered his tools to leave, Lyra added one last comment. Your presence here is unexpected, but welcome. Your kind may surprise us. Alex nodded. feeling a mixture of pride and anticipation. He didn't fully understand what she meant, but he knew one thing. This was only the beginning. A simple, honest comment had sparked a reaction he never could have predicted. And somehow, he knew that Lyra's reply was just the first step in a connection that would change both their worlds. As he walked back through the glowing corridors of the station, Alex allowed himself a small smile. He had come here to work, to learn, and maybe to prove something about humanity. But now, he realized, he had also come to make a friend, one unlike any other he had ever known. And somehow, he felt that the story of that one honest comment was far from over. The next morning, Alex arrived at the station earlier than usual, hoping to prepare for the day's assignments. The corridors were quieter than yesterday, but the strange hum of alien machinery made the air feel alive. He adjusted his utility belt and reminded himself that he had work to do: repair schedules, system checks, and energy calibrations. But even as he walked, his thoughts kept returning to Lyra. When he entered the central lab, she was already there, examining a holographic projection of energy flows. Her figure moved effortlessly around the floating light panels, arms outstretched in perfect balance as she touched the projections and adjusted them. The way she worked was mesmerizing. But it was not just her movements, it was the confidence, the ease, the quiet authority in everything she did. Alex felt a mix of admiration and nervousness. "Good morning, Alex," Lyra said, not looking up from the display. "Good morning," he replied, keeping his voice steady despite his racing heart. Lyra finally looked at him. Her eyes shimmered with a strange light, reflecting the projection in front of her. "You are not disturbing me. You wish to learn. That is valuable." Alex nodded, feeling encouraged. "Yes. I want to understand more about your systems and your methods. Everything is so advanced here." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "You are observant. But observing is not enough. You must experience." "Experience?" Alex repeated. "Yes," she said simply. "To understand, you must move. You must feel. Watch the flow of energy. Not only in the machines, but in yourself." He hesitated. "In myself?" Lyra nodded. "The body and mind are instruments, just like the station's systems. They respond to balance, focus, and awareness. You cannot fully understand energy unless you understand yourself." Alex swallowed. He had never thought of engineering that way. To him, machines were machines. But Lyra's words made sense in a way that was both strange and compelling. "Okay, I'll try." Over the next hour, Lyra guided him through a series of movements designed to improve balance and awareness. She showed him how to distribute his weight evenly, how to adjust his posture to conserve energy, and how to focus on his senses to detect small changes in the environment. Alex struggled at first, his human body clumsy and unfamiliar with the alien techniques. "You move too stiffly," Lyra said, her tone calm but firm. "Relax. Feel the energy around you. It is not only in your hands or feet. It flows through every part of you." Alex tried again, breathing deeply and focusing on the subtle vibrations in the floor and walls. Slowly, he began to feel the rhythm she described. His movements became smoother, more precise, and for a brief moment, he matched her grace. Lyra watched him, her expression unreadable, but her eyes reflecting a hint of approval. "You are improving," she said. "Not many humans can adjust so quickly." Alex smiled, feeling a surge of pride. "Thanks. I'm trying my best." Lyra inclined her head. "That is sufficient. Effort matters as much as skill." As the day went on, Alex continued to work with Lyra on various systems. He repaired plasma conduits, calibrated energy regulators, and assisted in monitoring the station's life support. All the while, she observed him, occasionally offering guidance or corrections. Her presence was commanding but not intimidating, and Alex found himself gradually gaining confidence. At one point, while checking a series of floating energy nodes, Alex noticed a subtle shimmer in her form. Her figure, already impressive, seemed almost to glow with energy. He hesitated for a moment, then spoke honestly, as he had the day before. Your movements, they're incredible, he said softly. It's not just your strength, it's the way you move. It's precise, balanced, almost like you're part of the energy itself. Lyra paused, turning to him fully. Her eyes widened slightly, and for a moment, Alex feared he had said something wrong. Then she smiled, a small but genuine expression that made his chest tighten. Your words, again, they are honest. Few would speak like that. Alex blinked. I just noticed. Lyra stepped closer, her presence overwhelming but not threatening. You notice because you are willing to see. Most do not. They only observe what they expect to see. Alex nodded slowly, understanding for the first time that his honesty and simplicity were a rare trait here. I guess that's true. I guess that's true. She studied him for a moment longer, then spoke in a softer tone. You are valuable, not only in work, but in perspective. Your kind has qualities we have overlooked. Alex felt warmth spread through him. Lyra, with her poise and strength, was acknowledging him in a way that no one else had. He realized that this connection born from honesty and observation was something more than simple friendship. But he pushed the thought aside, focusing on the work at hand. Later, during a scheduled break, Lyra invited him to accompany her to the observation deck. The room was massive, with walls of transparent material that allowed a breathtaking view of the nebula outside. Stars glittered like diamonds, and the colors of distant gas clouds swirled in ways Alex had never imagined. This is incredible, he whispered, stepping closer to the railing. Lyra stood beside him, her figure outlined against the cosmos. It is beautiful, she said. Yet beauty alone is not understanding. You must see beyond it. Observe patterns, connections, flows. Only then does it become meaningful. Alex nodded, trying to absorb both the view and her words. I think I understand. It's not just what you see, it's how you interpret it. She looked at him, her eyes reflecting the nebula's colors. Exactly. And you interpret honestly. That is rare. Alex felt a strange mix of pride and humility. Rare, honest, valuable. Words he had never considered important were suddenly weighty, especially coming from her. After a few minutes of silence, Lyra spoke again. There are many in this station who would not welcome you. They distrust humans, or they find your simplicity confusing. Alex frowned. Confusing? Why? Lyra shrugged slightly. Because humans often speak without hidden motives. Most here cannot comprehend that. Your honesty is disruptive, yet it is also enlightening. He blinked. Lyra's smile returned, faint but meaningful. It is rare, and rare things are precious. Alex chuckled softly, feeling both nervous and excited. He had come to this station to work, to fix machines, and to learn about alien technology. But now, he realized, he had also come to understand something more profound. Human qualities, honesty, sincerity, observation, were not weaknesses. In fact, they could open doors that no machine or training could. As the day ended, Lyra led him back to the lab for final checks. Tomorrow, you will accompany me on an external inspection, she said. It will test not only your skill but your awareness. You must apply everything you have learned today. Alex nodded, determination rising within him. I'll be ready. Lyra regarded him silently for a moment, then gave a small nod of approval. As Alex returned to his quarters, he reflected on the day. The honest comment he had made yesterday had sparked something unexpected. Something more than a simple acknowledgement. It had begun a connection, a subtle recognition that crossed species boundaries. He realized that this station, with all its complexity and alien culture, was not just a place of work, it was a place where human qualities could shine in ways he had never imagined. And he knew, deep down, that the story of that one honest comment and Lyra's unbelievable reply was only beginning. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, and perhaps even new trust. For the first time since arriving, Alex felt a sense of belonging, not because he fit in perfectly, but because he had shown who he truly was and someone as remarkable as Lyra had noticed. The next day, Alex woke with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, he would leave the station for the first time on an external inspection with Lyra. He quickly checked his equipment, ensuring every tool and device was in place. The alien's technology fascinated him, but he had learned by now that observation alone was not enough. He had to move with awareness, precision, and honesty, just as Lyra had taught him. When he arrived at the docking bay, Lyra was already waiting. She stood tall, her figure perfectly balanced, and her movements seemed to radiate calm confidence. The sun or the star of this system cast long, shimmering patterns on her form, highlighting both strength and elegance. Alex felt his heart quicken, but forced himself to focus. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice soft but commanding. Alex nodded. "Yes, I think so." Lyra studied him for a moment, then gave a small smile. "Remember what you have learned. Observation, awareness, honesty. These will guide you more than your tools." They boarded the small inspection craft, its sleek surface reflecting the alien sun. As the craft lifted off, Alex felt the familiar rush of nervous energy. Beyond the station, the planet's surface stretched out in jagged cliffs, swirling dust storms, and glowing mineral veins. The landscape was both beautiful and dangerous. A perfect test of the skills Lyra had been teaching him. "Stay alert," Lyra instructed. "This terrain can shift quickly. We will rely on each other." Alex nodded, gripping the edge of his seat. He tried to keep his focus on the instruments, but his eyes couldn't resist watching Lyra. She moved with such ease, adjusting the craft's controls with precision, her long fingers tracing the holographic displays, almost without thought. He realized that her figure, which had caught his attention the first day, was more than aesthetic. It was perfectly functional, designed for balance, speed, and endurance. Every movement had a purpose. They landed near a ridge overlooking a deep canyon. Lyra stepped out first, landing lightly on the uneven surface. Alex followed, his own landing rougher in comparison. Lyra turned and gave a small nod of encouragement. "Balance yourself. Feel the ground. Adjust your weight." He followed her instructions, focusing on the subtle vibrations of the rocky terrain. Slowly, his movements became more fluid. He could feel the energy of the planet beneath his feet, the shifts in wind, the tremors of the ground, even the slight warmth of mineral deposits. Lyra led him to a series of energy nodes embedded in the canyon walls. These nodes powered sections of the station's communication network. "We must inspect and recalibrate these nodes," she explained. "They are delicate. You must observe carefully and act with precision." Alex bent to examine the first node, his hands steady but careful. Lyra hovered nearby, occasionally adjusting her own movements to demonstrate subtle techniques. Then, without warning, a sudden tremor shook the canyon floor. Rocks shifted, and dust clouds billowed upward. Alex stumbled, nearly losing his balance. Lyra's hand shot out, steadying him in a single motion. "Focus," she said calmly. "Feel the ground. Move with it, not against it." He concentrated, breathing deeply, and adjusted his stance. The tremor passed, leaving only a few loose rocks behind. Alex felt a rush of adrenaline, not fear, but exhilaration. For the first time, he realized the true value of Lyra's training. It was not about strength or speed, it was about awareness, understanding the environment, and trusting one's instincts. As they worked together to recalibrate the nodes, Alex began to notice more than just their functions. He observed Lyra's movements, the way she shifted her weight, the subtle use of energy in her limbs, the perfect balance between power and grace. He realized that what he had complimented on the first day was far more remarkable than he had imagined. Her figure, her strength, her precision. It was all a reflection of discipline and understanding, not just beauty. At one point, a larger tremor shook the canyon, dislodging a massive boulder that began to roll toward them. Lyra's reaction was instantaneous. She grabbed Alex's arm and pushed him aside, then leapt onto a ledge with the boulder narrowly missing her. Alex's heart pounded as he watched her movements, unable to believe the speed and accuracy of her actions. "You saved me," he said breathlessly once the danger passed. Lyra's eyes met his, calm and unwavering. "No. You saved yourself. I merely guided." Alex shook his head. "It was your reaction. Your speed. I couldn't have done that." Her lips curved slightly. "You underestimated yourself. Humans have potential. You must learn to trust it." Kana, 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 Kana. The incident left Alex both awed and humbled. He had seen her strength before, but now he had witnessed it firsthand, in life and death situations. He began to understand why her earlier words about honesty and observation had been so important. To truly survive here, one needed more than machines and technology. One needed awareness, discipline, and trust. As they continued their inspection, Lyra spoke quietly. "Your comment yesterday, about my form, my movement, it was unusual. Few would speak honestly. Most would offer praise without understanding. You saw more." Alex felt his face warm. I just said what I noticed." Lyra's eyes softened, and she nodded. "That is why your words mattered. Honesty is rare. Observation without pretense, rarer still. You have given me something unexpected, a recognition I rarely receive." Alex struggled to find words. I didn't expect anything. I just said what I saw." She smiled faintly. "And that is why it is unforgettable. Your kind can surprise us." She smiled, just as she smiled. 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 They finished the inspection successfully, recalibrating all the nodes and ensuring the station's systems would function smoothly. Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. But more than that, he felt a deeper respect for Lyra and for the qualities she valued in him. On the return flight to the station, Alex tried to process everything. Lyra had saved him, guided him, and now, in her quiet way, acknowledged his honesty as something remarkable. He realized that human qualities, truthfulness, observation, sincerity, could hold power in ways technology alone could not. Lyra spoke again, her voice calm and thoughtful. "You have potential beyond what you know. Today, you demonstrated awareness, courage, and honesty. These are not trivial. They are strengths." Alex nodded, feeling both humbled and proud. "You learn quickly," Lyra said. "That is why I will continue to guide you. There are things coming, challenges that will test not only your skill, but your character." Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. He had come to this station to repair systems and learn technology, but now he realized that the true lessons were about trust, honesty, and understanding. and he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, he would face them alongside Lyra, learning not only from her strength, but also from the rare recognition she had given him. When they landed back at the station, Lyra turned to him with a small nod. "You have done well. More than that, you have surprised me." Alex smiled, feeling warmth and pride. I hope to keep surprising you." Her gaze softened, almost imperceptibly. "Continue as you are. There is power in honesty, in sincerity, in observation. Remember this. These qualities will carry you further than any tool or device ever could." As Alex returned to his quarters that evening, he reflected on the day. He had faced danger, witnessed Lyra's incredible abilities, and learned the deeper meaning behind her words. He understood now that the unbelievable reply she had given him on the first day was not just about a comment on her figure. It was about recognition, honesty, and the rare human ability to see truth without expectation. And for the first time, Alex felt that he was not just a human engineer on an alien station. He was someone who could make a difference. Someone whose honesty and courage could bridge the gap between two worlds. As he lay down that night, looking at the faint glow of the nebula through his window, Alex felt a sense of purpose he had never known before. The comment, the reply, the lessons, they were all part of a journey that was only beginning. And somehow, he knew that tomorrow would bring even greater challenges, and perhaps even deeper understanding of the remarkable alien woman who had changed the meaning of honesty for him forever. The morning sun, or the alien star, casting long streaks of blue and gold across the station, lit the docking bay where Alex prepared for his next assignment. Today would be different. Lyra had summoned him for a final test, an inspection and repair of the station's external power grids located on a treacherous cliffside. It was risky, demanding not only skill but complete trust between the human and the alien. Alex's stomach tightened with anticipation. When he reached the bay, Lyra was already waiting, her posture calm and confident. As always, the sunlight reflected off her skin, emphasizing her figure, which Alex had come to admire not only for its elegance, but for the strength and precision it represented. She greeted him with a small nod. "You are prepared," she said, her voice steady. "Remember the lessons you have learned. Honesty, awareness, observation. Today, they will serve you more than your tools." Alex nodded firmly. "I will do my best." Lyra inclined her head. "Your best is sufficient." They boarded the inspection craft, and as it lifted from the station, Alex felt a mix of nerves and excitement. The cliffside awaited, jagged and unforgiving. The wind howled, whipping dust and small debris across the barren terrain. Below them, deep chasms reflected the alien sun, making the landscape appear alive, shifting with every gust of wind. "Steady yourself," Lyra instructed. "The terrain is unforgiving. You must move with precision." Alex nodded, gripping the controls and recalling her lessons from previous days. Balance, awareness, observation. He took a deep breath, letting his senses adjust to the turbulence around him. When they landed, Lyra stepped out first, her movements perfectly fluid. Alex followed, mindful of every step, trying to mimic her rhythm. He could feel the uneven ground beneath him, the energy of the cliff, the vibrations from shifting rocks. Slowly, he moved with more confidence, realizing that her guidance had not only improved his balance, but his understanding of the environment itself. Lyra led him to the first set of power nodes embedded into the cliffside. These nodes regulated energy distribution across the station and were vital for maintaining stability. As Alex began to examine them, he noticed subtle cracks forming along the support beams. He paused, unsure how to proceed. Lyra's voice was calm but firm. "Trust yourself. You have learned to observe. What do you see?" Alex took a deep breath, focusing on the vibrations and the slight shifts in the beams. "The supports. They are weakening. If we do not reinforce them, the nodes could fail. Lyra nodded approvingly. Correct. Act, and I will assist. Together, we balance speed and precision. As they worked, a sudden gust of wind tore across the cliff, shaking the structure violently. Loose rocks tumbled down the side, and Alex instinctively froze. But Lyra's hand steadied his arm. Do not fear, she said. Move with the environment. Use its flow, not against it. Alex focused, remembering her lessons. He adjusted his stance, using the wind to counterbalance his movements. Slowly, he worked alongside her, reinforcing the nodes while maintaining awareness of the shifting ground. When the last node was secured, Alex stepped back, chest heaving from the effort. He looked at Lyra, who had moved as if the wind and rocks were extensions of her body. Even amidst chaos, she remained perfectly balanced, precise, and calm. You make it look effortless, he said, admiration evident in his voice. I couldn't have done this alone. Lyra's gaze met his, steady and unshakable. No one accomplishes anything alone. You observe honestly, you act with awareness, and you trust. These qualities, they are your strength, not the tools, not the machines. You. Alex felt a warmth he could not explain. Her words were more than acknowledgement. They were respect, trust, and recognition. Thank you, Lyra. I've learned so much from you. Lyra's lips curved into the faintest smile. And I have learned from you. Your honesty, your simplicity, it is rare, valuable. It reminds us that not all power comes from strength or technology. Some comes from seeing truth without expectation. For a moment, the winds and shifting dust seemed to pause. Alex realized that the unbelievable reply she had given him on the first day, her acknowledgement of his comment, was not about appearance. It had been about recognition, honesty, and human qualities that were unfamiliar but precious to her kind. As they prepared to return to the station, a minor tremor shook the cliffside. A boulder broke loose above them, sliding down the slope with alarming speed. Lyra reacted instantly, placing herself between Alex and the falling rock, using her body and agility to guide him to safety. Alex felt a surge of adrenaline, but also trust. He moved as she directed, following her guidance with complete faith. The boulder passed harmlessly by, and both of them remained unscathed. You saved me again, he said, breathless. Lyra's expression was calm, almost serene. No, you moved correctly. You trusted yourself. I merely guided. Trust and awareness. These are the lessons. You have learned them well. Well. Alex shook his head, laughing softly with relief. I don't think I could have done this without you. You underestimate yourself, Lyra said softly. Human qualities, honesty, observation, courage. These are strengths you do not fully understand. You have shown them in abundance. That is why your presence here matters. Alex felt a deep sense of pride. He had come to the station to repair systems and observe technology, but he now understood the greater lesson. His honesty, courage, and willingness to learn had allowed him not only to survive, but to be valued and respected by someone as extraordinary as Lyra. When they finally returned to the station, the corridors seemed calmer, almost welcoming. Alex walked beside Lyra, who occasionally glanced at him with a thoughtful expression. He realized that the bond between them had deepened not just through shared work, but through mutual respect, trust, and understanding. In the central lab, Lyra turned to him. You have performed admirably. Today, you demonstrated qualities that are rare among all beings here. You are not only capable, but extraordinary in ways many overlook. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth that went beyond pride. I've learned from you, Lyra. Your guidance, your trust, It made me see things differently. Lyra's eyes softened. And your honesty has reminded me of something important. That even in complexity, truth and sincerity can have power. You have shown us that humans can surprise us. Alex nodded, understanding fully now. The one honest comment he had made about her figure on the first day had sparked more than curiosity. It had sparked recognition, trust, and a connection that crossed species boundaries. It was a reminder that even small acts of honesty could have profound effects, creating bonds and understanding where none had existed before. As the day ended, Lyra escorted him to the observation deck. The nebula outside shimmered with vibrant colors, casting a serene glow over the station. Alex stood beside her, marveling at the view. "You see, Alex," she said softly, "this station, this planet, these challenges, they are tests, not of skill alone, but of character. And you have passed them not by technology or strength, but by who you are." Alex felt a swell of gratitude. "I thank you for believing in me, for guiding me. I will continue to do my best." Lyra inclined her head. "Continue as you are. Trust your instincts. Be honest. Observe. These qualities will carry you further than any machine ever could." For the first time, Alex felt a true sense of belonging, not because he was human, or skilled, or capable, but because he had been recognized for what he truly was. In a station full of beings who were powerful, intelligent, and complex, his honesty and courage had carved a place for him, and beside him, Lyra, remarkable, disciplined, and strong, stood as a reminder that understanding, trust, and sincerity could bridge worlds, species, and hearts. As they watched the nebula shimmer together, Alex realized something profound. The story of one honest comment, and the unbelievable reply it had sparked, had led to something far greater than either of them could have anticipated. Respect, trust, and a connection that might change not only their lives but the way their species saw one another. The journey was far from over. But Alex knew that with honesty, awareness, and courage, he could face whatever challenges lay ahead. And with Lyra by his side, he felt ready for anything. For the first time in his life, Alex understood that one simple, honest observation could spark change, forge trust, and build bonds stronger than any machine, stronger than any technology, stronger than fear. And that realization filled him with a quiet, unshakable hope.